Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Hall Happy Hour. It is so great to have you join us again. My name is Catherine Hall, and I know that this is a very difficult time for all of us in many ways. Some of us are more affected by the crisis of COVID than others, but every one of us is affected to some extent. And so I hope that over the next 30 minutes or so that you can put that aside and join us for some lighthearted conversation. We've got really a fabulous guest, and it's going to be so fun. Lots of tips. We're going to talk about food. We're going to talk about wine, and we're going to talk about Mother's Day. So the topic for our conversation today is how to celebrate Mother's Day. Now, we've all celebrated a lot of Mother's Days in the past, but this year is pretty different. We've got so many changes that are going on in the world. So my guest to share this with, or my first guest to share this with, is a woman whom you know. We see her on television all the time. She is on the Today Show. She's a certified nutritionist. She's active and she makes fabulous food, and it's all tasty. And she's done a fabulous cookbook, which we're going to talk about, called Superfoods, which we're going to talk about in a couple minutes. And she's a best-selling author besides that. This is the 12th book she's written. So can I bring on now Joy Bauer?
Hi, it is so good to be here. Hey, Catherine.
You are so wonderful to come join us. Thank you so much.
Oh, it is my pleasure. What a treat for me.
You know, you are back there in New York, which really has been the epicenter of all that's been going on related to COVID. How are you dealing during the crisis?
It's been pretty surreal. I feel very, very grateful. We are doing relatively well. So I'm hunkered down in Westchester, which you've probably seen all of the breaking news about Westchester. It was quite a hot spot. Now it's Westchester, it's New York City, it's also New Jersey, but it sort of started here. So I'm here with my 3 children. My youngest is 19, then I have a 22-year-old and a 25-year-old. So if you can imagine, it's kind of like high school again. They're all here. It's my husband and myself and our dog, and just really trying to see the silver lining, having great big family dinners. I'm doing a lot of cooking. We're taking long walks. We're playing games. We're sort of binge watching crazy shows together. We just finished 6 seasons of a hilarious show called, I'm embarrassed to say it, it's called Schitt's Creek.
Oh, yeah, I know it. It's good.
And you know, Moira, now that I think about it, Moira tried to get into the wine business. It was a big fail, but she actually gave it a shot. So we're just, having a really wonderful time together through all of this, and at the same time doing whatever we can in our small way to support healthcare workers. We're feeding hospitals, local hospitals, trying to stay connected with my parents and my in-laws and our extended family, and just being as creative as possible. I'll tell you, I never knew that my kitchen was going to become so famous.
I love it. I recognize your kitchen. It's just great to see you here. So I'm thinking that we should have a glass of wine because we're going to talk about wine among other things today, okay?
I would love that.
So the first wine we're going to have is called Craig's. And if you don't mind, I'm going to pour you a glass.
I lifted my glass for you.
Thank you very much. I'm ready to go.
Oh,
yeah, is that enough? Got it?
Oh yeah, there it is. There it is.
How about that? The miracle of the internet. And I just so I'm gonna pour myself a glass here.
This is truly magic.
It is magic. Wine sort of helps everything, I think, too. So this is a wine that we named after my husband. It's from Napa Valley. We blend a lot of different vineyards from across the valley in this wine. So it doesn't represent one particular vineyard, but I think it's a really good representative of what we can do in Napa as a whole. It's very full-bodied. It's got a lot of fruit in it, and I think we should try it. Cheers.
Oh, cheers. Mm, that is spectacular. And I'm a cab girl. Yeah.
Oh, you are a cab girl.
Yes. And I love full-bodied, bold, flavorful. Yeah, this is really delicious.
Oh, so then you must be a Napa Valley fan, because that's what we do out here.
I'm a regular. I am a regular.
So
and when all of this clears, I'm looking forward to sitting in your tasting rooms.
I look forward to having you come up. I'm looking forward to be able to welcome you, and I'm looking forward to the day that you can travel. So it's great.
Oh, what a cheers.
So this isn't 2016. It's been out just a rather short time, but I think for me, I just get a lot of this sort of dark berry on the nose. And so it sort of changes. I mean, wine is such a living, breathing thing, but I think on the flavors on this wine are still very sort of dark cherry for me.
No, I smell that and I taste that. It's a very special tasting wine.
Thank you. Thank you. I really like it. I like the finish on this wine a lot too. So when you drink wine, I love you saying that you drink Cabernet. So is wine for you something that is special occasions? Is it more often than that?
It's a daily occurrence. I look so forward to a glass of wine every single night. Sometimes I'll sip my wine while I'm actually preparing dinner, and I put some music on, and I'm alone in the kitchen, and I sort of get in the zone and just feel so zen, and it's my time. And other times I'll save it for when we sit down for dinner. And honestly, other times it will be after dinner when I'm cozied up on the couch. But I'm usually good for at least a glass of wine a night. I love my wine. That's my thing. People that follow me on social know I am the wine girl.
I love that. I love that. So, today, our topic, as you well know, is all about celebrating Mother's Day in these times when things are really very different than they have been in the past. I mean, for me, I've always made a very big deal about Mother's Day in our family. I started training my kids when they were really young that this was a special holiday. You have to honor Mother on this day. So
I think it's the most important day on the planet.
Yeah, I think it's very, very important. So anyway, to you all, so when Joy and I were talking about Mother's Day, and we thought we recognize how this life is so different now, we're thinking like, what can we suggest to you about how to celebrate Mother's Day in these sort of different times? And we thought, well, picnicking at a distance. So I had some thoughts about how we make a picnic basket together. And Joy, you've got something really fabulous to share. I'm going to turn this to you.
You want me to jump in?
I do.
I tried to think about something that we could bring on a picnic that wasn't sort of the run-of-the-mill sandwich or a salad. And I just wanted it to have some sort of a special presentation. So my mind often goes to Tex-Mex because I love
Tex-Mex.
Yes. And I thought, let's make a delicious, scrumptious, hearty salad in a mason jar and sort of layer it like we were playing with sand art. So the first thing that I'm going to do, and I'm hoping, could everybody see what's over here? Catherine, can you see this?
Yes, I can see it. Great.
Oh, great. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make what I'm calling a salsa vinaigrette, a salsa lime vinaigrette. And I just have a little bit of salsa here. It could be homemade salsa, or truth be told, I got this right out of a jar. And I'm adding 2 tablespoons. It's only a 1/4 cup of salsa. You could do mild, you could do spicy, eater's choice. 2 tablespoons of lime juice. And this is 2 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil. And then if you are like me and you are one of the people that really love to have cilantro in things. I know it's a little bit polarizing. I like to put a little bit of cilantro in there as well. And if you don't have cilantro and you want to see some greenery, you can go the parsley route.
Yeah.
So
I love cilantro in my, I grow cilantro in my garden, so it's wonderful. Yeah.
Of course you do. That's perfect. So then you're just going to mix this up. Now the key to layering a mason jar salad, so this I would like one that was a little bit wider mouth than this one, but I think this one's going to work. So the trick is you want to put your dressing at the very bottom, because then all of the layers on top will stay nice and fresh and crisp until you're ready to actually shake it up or dump it into a bowl and enjoy your salad. So I'm going to put the dressing at the bottom. And you can always carry extra dressing with you. And what I love about this is because we're using salsa, it's a little bit of a hack because the salsa already comes all seasoned up with garlic and onion and all sorts of flavors. Okay, so we'll put this in here. Okay, now I'm going to start the layering process. So first I'm going to put in these are chopped bell pepper. And I picked red deliberately because I want a nice pop of color here. And bell peppers are great because they are busting with vitamin C, and vitamin C helps to strengthen our immune system. So there's no better time for bell peppers. Okay, the next thing I'm going to put in is some bright yellow corn. And I love corn. And it's high in fiber, and it's filling, and it gives it a nice sweet crunch. So you can see the colors layering up. So next, I'm going to put in some chopped red onion. And what a lot of people don't realize about onion, first, it's a great way to flavor anything up without adding salt or sugar, but they also come loaded with an antioxidant called quercetin, which helps every single cell within our body and also helps to strengthen the immune system. And interestingly enough, here's a fun fact, quercetin could also help to tame seasonal allergies. So if anybody's listening and they suffer, you can feel good about eating onion. I'm gonna put this over here. Okay, now we go for cheese. I love cheese.
Yeah, I love cheese too.
So if you don't eat dairy, of course you can skip it and you could just double up on the black beans that we'll add next. But if you do like cheese, pick a type that you like. This is a cheddar. Sometimes I do the 4 Mexican blend, but you do want shredded.
That looks so beautiful, really, Joy.
Isn't that nice? So now we're going to put in our black beans. And black beans are sort of like the trifecta. So it's a high quality carb that comes packaged with protein and fiber. So they help to steady out your blood sugars, and they really make a salad a meal. So this is going to help to give it a lot of substance, and it's going to help to keep you feeling full for hours. So now we got our black beans in there.
That is so great for somebody like me who doesn't eat meat. It's beans are a really important part of my diet.
Right, and now even with the shortage that we're dealing with in terms of the meat and the poultry, I think everybody is really embracing beans and all types of beans, black beans and white beans and chickpeas. And so next we have one of the most heart-healthy foods on the planet, and that would be our avocado. And avocado is going to add a creaminess and dreaminess to our salad. And avocados come packed with potassium, which is really great for managing blood pressure. And they also have a nice amount of fiber with it. I don't think people realize that avocados are a great source of fiber. And now we're going to put in our tomatoes. Tomatoes, again, have vitamin C, and they also, not leaving much room for lettuce, but that's okay. Tomatoes also have, you probably have heard of an antioxidant called lycopene. We throw that word around a lot. Lycopene is really great for skin health and your complexion, but even more importantly, it helps to reduce the risk for skin cancer and prostate cancer. So that's a really important one. And then last but not least, if you have any...
I have a question on, are the red peppers here better than the green? I mean, I think they're really pretty, but I love the green.
So all peppers, all bell peppers, all of the different varieties of color, the green, the red, the yellow, basically what happens is the longer they ripen, the deeper the color change. So green is going to be the most immature, and it's packed with vitamin C, absolutely packed. When it stays and it ripens a little bit longer, it's going to turn into a red and yellow, orange, and all those different other colors come into play. And the interesting thing is that the longer it ripens, you do get a little bit more of a bump in vitamin C. But what I have to say is, even the green are so incredibly rich sources of immune boosting vitamin C that I wouldn't worry about it. I would just go for the type that you like. If you can imagine, one bell pepper a day supplies more than 200% of our daily value for vitamin C. It's so much more than oranges, yes. A lot of people don't realize that. So look at this baby.
Oh, isn't that fabulous? And this is Joy. I mean, you bring so much to the conversation about food, but on top of that, to hear you talk about antioxidants and being healthy. I mean, food, it's not just about eating something that's really tasty, but it's also about staying healthy. And I love that. I really do. And I think, and that's probably one of the reasons that I think your book is just, I just want to show it one more time. It is, there it is. Ta-da!
Oh, you're so great. Thank you. You know,
you all, it's good. This is really great. I'm enjoying the food, and it's also very, very pretty, and you got lots of pictures. So this one isn't in there, but it's but so many other things are. And anyway,
thank you. You know, it's Catherine. I have to say, like, it's a very unlikely time to drop a new book, and I even spoke with the publishing house, and we were thinking, like, maybe we'll push it off into the fall. But what wound up happening is, because everybody is quarantined, people who never cooked before are now embracing their kitchens, and also health is front and center. So it was so exciting for me to be able to actually drop the book and share recipes that are delicious, but at the same time shower our bodies with vitamins and minerals and antioxidants and fiber, all of the right things that truly elevate our health on so many different levels. And every doctor I speak to emphasizes how important it is right now to strengthen our immune systems, and not only to fight off COVID, but when we forge forward, and we will, and we get through this, to be able to fight off other things that wind up coming our way. They're talking about a second wave. They're talking about flu season, other viruses. So, you know, we are in charge of our own health, and there's so few things right now that we can control, but we can control what we put in our bodies, right?
We really can. So we're getting questions coming in, which I'm going to pose one to you now in just a second. But everybody, if you'd like to ask a question, put it on down there in the comments, and then I will pass it on here to Joy. So Joy, this is a question that came in from someone, Allie Louder, who says, I've been eating so much less meat during quarantine. Do you have any recommendations for the best vegetarian protein source? I mean, we talked about beans before.
This is a really great question, and it's very, very relevant and timely right now. So when it comes to non-meat sources, so let's talk about like vegetarian, and we'll first include dairy and eggs. So Greek yogurt is fabulous because it has twice the amount of protein as traditional yogurt. So if you're someone that does eat dairy, Greek yogurt is wonderful. Eggs are so versatile. I could have eggs in the morning, omelets, frittatas at night, egg salad for lunch in the afternoon. But when you move away from those foods, I would say the canned and dried beans and lentils are fabulous. Lentils are sort of like, you know, the Pope of legumes, right? Because they have vitamins and minerals and so much protein and so much fiber. And again, they not only provide us with protein, but they help to steady our blood sugar. So they're really good for anyone who, in fact, might be dealing from volatile mood swings or type 2 diabetes. The other thing are nuts and seeds. and their fellow butters. So things like almonds and pistachios and walnuts and even cashews. You know, cashews don't get enough love, but right now it's interesting. Cashews are the nut of choice when it comes to having a lot of zinc. And zinc, again, is an immune booster. You hear about people taking zinc supplements. So if you like cashews, you know, they don't have as much protein as, let's say, almonds or peanuts, but they also bring other assets to the table. And there's nothing like the butters. Peanut butter and almond butter and cashew butter. And also, if you have nut allergies in the house, you can have things like soy nut butter and sunflower seed butter, because all of these are protein sources. And then one last thing I'll mention is for people that will eat fish, canned fish is very budget friendly. And if you get wild salmon or sardines, they are packed with the heart-healthy omega-3 fats, which help tame inflammation. They help to lower triglycerides. They're great for brain health. They're good. They're just so good for our body. And they also have a lot of vitamin D. D as in David, which is another immune booster. So instead of having tuna salad, you could make all sorts of things with wild salmon. I like to mix chickpeas and drained wild salmon from a can or a pouch, and then, or I mean, if you have fresh, there's nothing like fresh, and then a little bit of red wine vinegar and some chopped red onions. We spoke about that quercetin, the antioxidants in the onions, and then a little bit of extra virgin olive oil, and it is fantastic. It tastes so delicious, and it takes maybe 3 minutes to whip together.
Wow. So for folks who want to get more information about your recipes, you've got your other books, but also you have a handle on Facebook and on Instagram. Maybe we could share that with everybody, because I think that would.
Oh, that's great. And you know what I want to let everybody know? Like, I love requests. So, you know, every day I'm out there and I'm posting all sorts of recipes and delicious creations. But if there's something that I haven't created yet, like, bring it on. You let me know and I will get busy in my kitchen. And I have time on my hands right now. So,
well, actually, I don't know how much time you have, but I love that. So I love that you mentioned cashews, because actually that's what I put in my picnic basket. And as I was saying earlier, so part of a wonderful picnic, I think, is just putting a wonderful basket together so that it's pretty. And I mean, I think there's a couple things, 3 for me in particular, that are important about how you create your picnic basket. I mean, your picnic basket ends up being your table. You don't have a table to set, but you can make the picnic basket look pretty inviting. And then when you're there, you can spread it out and it makes it quite lovely. So this is what I put together. I'm having a picnic at a distance with my daughter and her husband and my grandbaby. And this is sort of what I put together for us. So I have cashews in there, as you can see, but I think it's also, and then, and you see Joy's salad, which is so good.
Great job. That looks fantastic.
Yes. Isn't it nice? I'm just so proud of myself. I actually have it here too. I have another one.
You did a great job. And look at all those great beans.
Yeah, they're great. And
Catherine, you know what I want to know about in that basket? I want to know from the expert which wine you selected for your special day. I see that white wine in there.
Yeah. So I actually did a couple wines in there. Another thing that's important, I think, about a picnic is you want to have ease. And so I put in 2 of the wines that we make that I also like for a midday meal that are easy. They don't require a corkscrew. So that's our Sauvignon Blanc back there on the, I'm not sure if it's your right, left or right, but it's towards the back of the basket. That's a Sauvignon Blanc from Hall with the screw top. Unfortunately, we can't do great red wine with a screw top, so I put a red in there. And then I just love rosé, so I put in the Baca rosé, which comes in a can. We make another fabulous rosé out of Pinot Noir under the Walt label, but I think it's really fun to have wine, if it's good, in a can, and the Baca is made from Zinfandel. So those are the two I put in there. And you can also see in there, as you well, you don't know, but anyway, I'll just say our family is so full of nutritional differences. So some of our family is gluten-free, some is not, some eat meat, some don't, some, there's not a whole lot of common ground. So I try to make it pretty, but also sort of healthy. So I've got in some gluten-free crackers, and I've got the nuts, and I've got chocolate. Everybody wants to have some chocolate, so I try to make that dark and pretty. So
chocolate is universal. And it's an interesting point that you bring up, because like with me, with my recipes, because there are so many different eating styles, some because people have allergies or intolerances or illnesses, and other times it's just like a preference kind of thing. So I always try to make notes about swap-ins and the versatility, so that, you can have one recipe that has many different branches and it still works. That was a very impressive picnic basket.
Thank you very much.
Much prettier than anything I would have put together.
So I think it's about time to try. We have a second wine, which is another Cabernet. It's different than the first one we had, and it's this one right here. And I see you have that bottle right there.
It's right here.
So
Yeah.
This is called
This is spectacular.
So may I pour you a glass of this one?
Oh, yes. Let me get my glass.
Okay. Ta-da! Here we go.
Oh, I feel it coming.
You know what?
You have a nice, robust glass.
So, and to join us for when we talk about this wine and for a little while of conversation, we've got a wonderful club member who's going to join us. Donna, are you on here? Are you? There she is.
I am.
There she is. So this is Donna Sylvia, everybody. She's a member of our wine club, and I know, Donna, you know this wine, being our 2014 Bergfeld, which is what I have in my hand because you drink it as a wonderful member of our club. So welcome.
Well, glad to be here. Nice to meet you. Right?
So are you getting ready for Mother's Day? Are you?
I am getting ready. Unfortunately, my two children, one is in London and one is in Seattle. So it is a virtual Mother's Day, and I think we will try a salad in a jar. They will all love that because they can each make their own, and then we will FaceTime.
I just cannot wait to see a snapshot of that. Will you send me a snapshot? That makes me so happy. And you're so right. Like, you can have all different ingredients. It's just about the layering.
They each will have a different ingredient. But the question I have is that when you go to the store to get the greens, there's so many different versions of lettuce or iceberg or arugula. Is there any one that is better that you think is healthier?
So I think when it comes to lettuce, first I'll tell you, on the salad, we hardly fit any lettuce, right? So my instinct is to say, go for the lettuce that you like the most, because this salad is really about the stuff. The action-packed nutrition is really on the bottom half of this. But when it comes to lettuce, if you are looking for the most nutritious, you want to go for the deeper green. So, you look at iceberg and it's a little bit anemic looking. That's because it doesn't have that much in it. When you get into the deeper greens, like an arugula, or this is a crunchy romaine over here. Romaine is still sort of like in between. When you get into spinach leaves, like the deeper the hue indicates that it's going to have much more significance in the nutrition department.
Okay, I will remember that.
Yeah, so the mesclun greens are great. They're really great. So that would probably be what I would recommend. And when you're doing something like this, you're going to chop it up so you can pack it in there.
So, I'll say a couple things about this wine. So this is the second Cabernet, and it's a 2014, so it's a little bit older than the other one that we had. And I always, when I smell this wine, I get sort of boysenberry, but most people don't know what I'm talking about. And so Joy, do they still make boysenberries? I never see them around, but for me, these aromas are very boysenberry-ish.
No, I do know what you mean. I'm excited to hear what Donna has to say. I think that this one feels to me, it's a tie, by the way. I think I like them equally, and I absolutely love both of them. This feels a little bit bolder to me, which I like. And if it's possible, a drop sweeter. Just a drop sweeter, and maybe that's where the boysenberry is coming in. And maybe even it could be blackberry and raspberry too.
Oh, totally. I think the flavors are really very berry-ish. The berry quality here is big. This comes from a vineyard that is sort of in the center of the valley. I think we have a picture. Oh, great.
Oh, wow.
Picture of that vineyard. It's on the valley floor. You can see we're on the valley floor, and it's right in the heart of the valley. It's right behind our winery in St. Helena. And characteristic of all the wines that come from this part of Napa is this really lots of power. These are always like very big, very powerful wines. So then when you're making this, part of what you want to do is just, and there's the Bergfeld. This is the building that we named this wine after. It's actually one of the original wineries in Napa Valley, and back from the late 19th century. And so we just 1883, and so it's we had to actually reconstruct that building from pictures because there was nothing left except sort of the foundation and some of those rocks at the bottom of the building. But one of the things about I've always thought that cities as well as vineyards, you plant the nicest area first. Homes tend to move in cities in the nicest area, and I think these vineyards right around this particular area are really very special just because they have this lovely, powerful fruit. But then you also get this some of the nuances from tea or sort of black tea in here, maybe a little cider. It changes, but I'm really, I enjoy this wine a lot.
Oh my God, everybody watching, you need this wine. And you know what I thought of when you were describing you use the word power, like this is a power wine. Yeah. This is like a celebration wine. When you have something super special to celebrate, like whoever's watching, like this is the wine. This is the wine you need.
Thank you. This is a special wine, and I think that you mentioned sweet. It's interesting on sweetness on a wine because there's no sugar in this wine. There wasn't any sugar in the other wine as well, but we don't have any sugar. We always we ferment it out over the course of the winemaking process, but you get this illusion of sweetness because there is so much fruit in there. So,
and you know something, I don't even know if I would have described this as sweet had I not had the first one to compare it to. So it's not a sweet wine. It's definitely, very full-bodied and berry-like, to your point. But I only said sweet because I think it's a tad sweeter than the other one.
Yep, got it. Well,
yes.
Donna, I so hope that you have a wonderful Mother's Day. I love the idea that you're going to make Joy's salad. That's just really good, and I'm having it for sure. So,
happy Mother's Day to both of you.
Happy Mother's Day to you. Enjoy. So, Mother's Day really it's so special, and I think both of us as mothers, we really appreciate. Well, first of all, there's nothing better than being a mother to begin with anyway, and to be able to be with your family one way or another. You are so blessed that you have your family right there in your home, Joy. And then for the rest of us who are going to, in my case, enjoy at a distance, and for others like Donna who have to come in and Zoom, but at least one way or the other, it's wonderful that we can be together on this day.
No, it really is. I mean, and normally every year, Mother's Day is my holiday. So I normally host my side of the family and my husband's side of the family. So we have like 45 people here for the last 20 plus years. So on one hand, it'll be really nice for me to be with the 5 of us and my children, but we're definitely going to get creative on Zoom as well and try to figure out how we can do something with everybody.
Oh, that's lovely. No, I think we have both had many Mother's Day and days that we've enjoyed, and I'm sure a lot of the people who are watching are trying to figure out what are they going to give their mother for Mother's Day. And I mean, I'll start off with 2 obvious choices. One is this wonderful cookbook.
Oh, thank you.
I have right here. Ta-da! Joy's Superfood. Someday I'm going to be able to do this a little more accurately. And obviously wine is a really good one, but I think there are other gifts that would be really welcome too. Joy, any suggestions that you have? What do
you know what just popped into my head? This is a little bit random, but I think that because the weather is, especially in New York, it's starting to get nicer, and I think we're really trying to get outside as much as we can right now, and the fresh air is so great. I think anything with gardening, if you can have, herbs or vegetables or flower seeds and encourage mom to get outside and start gardening in the backyard, that would be awesome. Or anything to keep mom active. It could be cool peds or sneakers or, some sort of a nice jogging sweatshirt or even it doesn't even have to be something that you buy. Maybe you could put a list together of appropriate virtual exercise classes that mom can do. You know what else would be really cool? I'm thinking of all these ideas right now.
Yeah. I love our kids are watching this. Yeah.
Jackie, Nicole, Aiden. I love the idea of being able now virtually to visit museums around the world. Could you imagine, putting together all of these different links with a schedule for mom each week to go to a different location? I'm in France, I'm in Switzerland, I'm in Germany, I'm in New York at the Met. That would be really cool.
I love that. The other thing I was thinking when we were talking about gardening is just how nice if you happen to live near your mother and you still can't be close physically, you could go by and help her and do something in the garden, mow the lawn, help her tend the flowers that are out there. I mean, I think.
Brilliant. And or you could even do a grocery shop for them. So my parents are about 20 minutes away from us. And my dad had open heart surgery, emergency open heart surgery, about a week prior to this hitting. So if you could imagine, he then left the ICU with just my mom, and they have been quarantined for over 2 months. He has not had an in-person appointment, only virtual appointments with his cardiothoracic surgeon. And by the way, he's doing brilliantly. The guy is bionic. He's doing absolutely fabulously.
But these are good genes. That's good.
I hope I have his genes. Yeah. But one of the thoughts is to drop off a load of groceries and paper towels and toilet paper and things like that, the essentials that your parents or your mom needs. These are such meaningful things, and things under other circumstances, non-COVID circumstances, we would never be thinking about, right? We would be buying a blouse. We would be buying a scarf, a hat. So it's kind of cool to think like this.
Totally. Could not agree more. So now everybody, the wines that we've had today, and actually all of the wines that we have on our, you can buy these on our website, and we have dollar shipping. And so we want to encourage you to enjoy wine and wine at home. We have a special promo code. So which is coincidentally Joy, in honor of wonderful Joe Bauer.
That is so cool. That is so incredibly generous of you. And I also want you to know that I think my mom is watching. I hope she's watching. She is a huge wine lover. It's genetic. It's in the genes. Excellent kids. And Mom, if you are watching, you are getting a bottle of this wine.
Oh, thank you. Joy, it has just been such a treat. I am so grateful that you came on. It's really been fun. I've learned a lot. I know everybody else has been on has learned a lot as well. Thank you. I wish you just a wonderful, wonderful Mother's Day with your family in person, and then those of you who will be joining online with Joy.
Oh, Catherine, thank you so much. And I look forward to coming to your place in Napa when all of this lifts and we go back to our normal lives and sitting in your fabulous, chic tasting room and clinking glasses.
I so look forward to you.
Mwah.
Bye-bye. Thanks. Well, everybody, thank you so much for coming. We will be back on Monday. Jennifer will be back with Baca Wines. She's got a wonderful guest, Tinley Molzan, who's a TV personality whom you probably already know, and she'll be here on Monday afternoon on Instagram Live. I will be back on Wednesday, also on Instagram Live. You can check out the details for the times for both of us on our websites. My guest on Wednesday is going to be Dan Abrams, who is the legal analyst and anchor, has been an anchor at ABC News. So in the meantime, thank you for coming, and stay healthy and sip up.